Welcome to the American Academy of Grief Counseling's videogram on loss and unfulfilled needs. And in this video, we're going to take a closer look at Abraham Maslow and his hierarchy of needs, and how when one of these needs is suddenly taken from the pyramid, how grief is a reaction to that, and how one then proceeds to adjust and repair that layer of the pyramid itself. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the foundation of it fulfills our physical and physiological needs, such as food, drink, water, anything that deals with sustenance and keeping an individual alive. The next tier refers to safety needs, finances, shelter, security, knowing that one is safe. And the third tier, which we're going to be primarily dealing with, is social belonging. That's where bonds are formed as social creatures and where love and being loved is experienced. Further up the triangle comes esteem, and then finally self-actualization, from idea of who we are, meaning, fulfillment, and so forth. Now, back to the third tier, social belonging. When a bond is broken, when this need is suddenly stripped from the triangle, there is a gauging hole, and the pyramid itself might even seem to fall apart when we lose someone we love. And learning to adjust, learning to how to fulfill this need despite the gaping hole, is a process of grief work itself. Now, as we understand, attachment is something that is very strong. The more intense, the greater the loss. And John Bowlby talks about attachment and how important forming healthy attachments are. He did a study on infants and how well they have healthy or unhealthy, secure or insecure attachments. He also speculated from beyond that is the stronger the attachment, the stronger the reaction if that attachment is broken. So when someone has a loved one who's been part of their life for a very long time and they lose that person, there's going to be a greater grief reaction. And one of Maslow's needs is going to be stripped. And when this strip occurs in psychology, there is a look to motivate oneself to find the beloved. There is a soul searching, an evolutionary urge within the human person to be motivated, be fine. And a motivation is a need that directs behavior. So our behavior is being directed by this motivation to find our loved one, or at least to adjust in a way to keep that loved one in our heart, even though physically no longer present. So in adjustment and healthy grieving and healthy grief work, one is able to show that that bond might no longer physically be present, but it is still emotionally and spiritually present. And through the grief work, the need of love, the need of bonds, and that third tier of Maslow's triangle is continued through others. So our emotion of sadness plays a key role. So anytime there is a response to an emotional or psychological arousal, we refer to this response as an emotion, and sadness is a key response. It is a key response that is universally recognized within the species that signifies help, that this individual needs help. They are going through a rough time. And through the manifestation of losing someone and being in isolation, one is then pushed forward to find a belonging within that tier, that third tier of Maslow's triangle. So through adjustment, one is able to continue not only the bond of that third tier, but also to find other bonds to help secure one through this difficult process of fulfilling this fundamental need of being loved, loving, and having bonds that are important in allowing one to persevere through life itself. We are the American Academy of Grief Counseling. Below is our link. Our number is 330-652-7776. And our email is info@aihcp.org. So I encourage you to investigate Maslow's hierarchy of needs and see where you are on this particular triangle. Obviously, the highest point is self-actualization, where one is able to find a deeper meaning in life and fulfillment that is beyond the material, beyond self, but a more universal belonging. So see where you are in that and see where certain needs throughout your life might have been taken away from this particular triangle, this foundation, these tiers, and see how your grief response was when particular things were taken away. And it doesn't just have to be a human loss. You can lose a job on the second tier. And how was your grief reaction to that particular need being taken away? Or it could be one of a more abstract, existential nature towards the higher portion of the triangle regarding your self-esteem itself. So there are a variety of ways where when needs are taken away, there is an adjustment period. And how we grieve and how we cope is very important in fulfilling and re-meeting those needs when they're taken away itself. I'd like to thank you for listening and have a good day.